Hey guys, it's Vin from The Better Gentleman, and today we're going to be talking about the Samsung S20. It was just announced a couple days back, and it'll be available for pre-order starting February 21st. There's a lot to discuss about this device, and I'll break it down into separate videos, so please be sure to subscribe. Alrighty guys, this is going to be my discussion video for the S20, and there's a lot to talk about for this device, and I think a lot of it is misconception and a little bit of deception. First thing I want to talk about is the sticker shock. These are ridiculously expensive phones, and there's no denying that. But I did want to point out that these aren't that much more expensive than last year. I know, $1,400, but let me explain. Earlier this year when the iPhone 11 launched, Apple changed up the naming game. They started calling the successor to the iPhone XR, which was competing against the S10e, the iPhone 11. When we heard there were going to be 3 variants of the S20 this year, we expected the same thing as last year, a successor to the 10e, 10, and the 10 Plus. However, this is not what happened. We didn't get a successor to the 10e, instead we got the successor to the S10 5G in the lineup. If you take that into consideration, the S20 Ultra is released for the same price as the S10 5G last year. The Plus model is still $200 more expensive, but the base model is only $100 more expensive than the 10. They just went ahead and cut out the E model this year. And it doesn't help that a lot of YouTubers out there are comparing the wrong phone models. Typically, you'll see a lot of YouTubers out there comparing the S20 Ultra to the iPhone Pro Max, but that's not really what you're supposed to be comparing it to. You're supposed to be comparing the iPhone Pro Max to the S20 Plus. And I think a lot of this has to do with the whole naming thing again, just because there's 3 models of the iPhone and there's 3 models of the S20 right now, so they're just going ahead and pairing them up to what they see. However, it's not really a fair competition. You can start with the S20 as a base model, and that has 120Hz full AMOLED display versus the 720 display on the iPhone 11. It has 3 cameras, the iPhone 11 has 2 cameras. It's not the competition for the iPhone 11. There's a lot of background marketing going on in here, and I feel like Samsung just doesn't want to be the second best anymore. Don't get me wrong, their hardware is top of the line, everything except the processor, which Apple still has a leg up in. And in fact, their hardware is so good that they actually make it for most of their competitors, including Apple. The iPhone has always been the main competition, and I feel like the biggest hurdle for Samsung over the years is that they are considered the more budget-friendly option, meaning that even though they're good and often have the same camera specs and whatnot as the iPhone, they don't have the same reputation the iPhone does. This year, with their pricing and huge camera upgrade, they're trying to get rid of that budget stigma. I think this pricing is a big blow to the customers who are using it as a budget option, which includes me as well. For years, Samsung has been the brand that gives you the best bang for your buck. However, that has now changed. Their flagships are officially more expensive than Apple, who many of us have considered overpriced for years. A lot of iPhone customers get it because of what it represents, a status symbol. A lot of people would even make fun of you if you had a Samsung before and they had an iPhone. And we've all seen the memes, Androids are for broke people. Even though a lot of us who have been enjoying Samsung phones for the last few years know that price doesn't always equal quality. A lot of people believe that just because they're paying more for the iPhones that they're getting something better. This year, by raising their prices more than that of the iPhone, they're trying to take away Apple's premium standing. Apple could correct this by raising their prices in the fall and use the same 5G excuse that Samsung is using to inflate their prices, but that won't be for a few months, and if Samsung decides not to share their new tech with them, then it could be a big blow to Apple and it could solidify Samsung's new position as the market leader. They're no longer second best, they are the best. Even if you look at last year, Samsung had already been moving this way to being the premium market leader whenever they released the $2,000 Samsung Galaxy Fold. None of us were really sure how that would sell because of its price. It's a $2,000 Samsung. Would anybody really want it? But however, it kept selling out. It sold out multiple times. Whenever shipments were coming in, they were selling right out. And I feel like a lot of that is because they went ahead and they took Apple's mojo. And I feel like with that device, they really got put into the limelight. A lot of people that had traditionally bought iPhones before for the cool factor or whatever, they were looking at the Galaxy Fold. And I feel like that contributes to the cool and status factor that this device has, along with its pricing. But there's still a lot of trickery going on here. The sticker price is certainly higher than Apple's, there's no denying that. However, the sleight of hand is that it's actually not that much more expensive when you consider all the other factors. If you've got a new Samsung device before, you know that Samsung puts in a lot of add-ins and a lot of extra incentives. Sure, there are the Galaxy Buds or the $200 Samsung gift card that Samsung gives you depending on the region and the model that you're getting, but the biggest trick is the trade-in value. What if I told you that if you were trading in the S10 or the iPhone 11 for that matter, the price of the Galaxy Ultra and iPhone Pro Max is the exact same? That's because Samsung gives you a $600 trade-in, while Apple gives you a $300 trade-in at most, and that's including if you're trading in iPhones or anything like that. And that really negates the extra $300 in price that the Galaxy Ultra has. Samsung really does this on purpose because they get to shock people by saying, oh, we have a $1,500 phone, there's a lot of people looking at it, but it still allows people to get it that are still looking to get that budget deal. It's kind of like a dealer scam. They were going to sell you that car for that price anyways, but you feel like you got a good deal and you get the same reaction for your friends. Like if you went ahead and bought the Galaxy Ultra for $1,500, you get a lot of people looking at you like, oh wow, you're blowing that much money on a phone. It really provides that shock value there. So will you guys be getting these devices? Please leave a comment down below, let me know. And for more content like this, please be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.